Silence, please.
Sorry.
Silence.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, will the distinguished gentleman yield to some questions for interpellation?
Senator Manny, there's a question if you will yield to some interpellation.
Yes, Mr. President. Thank you.
Senator Soto is recognized for interpellation.
Thank you.
Willingly, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President. I wish to thank the gentleman for yielding to some interpellations. I would like to congratulate you for your speech. I would like to congratulate you for yielding to the interpellation. I am glad that in your maiden speech you have already given us a bird's eye view of what would be the focus of your first bills in the Senate. In my maiden privilege speech in 1992, Mr. President, kaya ako natutuwa kay Senator Pacquiao, I was interpellated by 22 senators. We lasted until 8 o'clock in the evening. So I'm glad that Senator Pacquiao wishes to be interpellated and allows it so that we can pick on his mind more. Ang simple lang po yung mga tanong ko. I'd like to find out, doon sa forma ng death penalty na gusto ninyo. Let me just state for the record first, Mr. President. In the 9th Congress, I was one of the authors and the principal sponsor of Republic Act 7659, the reimposition of the death penalty for drug trafficking. I specifically sponsored that in the Senate Hall. We were in the old Congress building. Lately, I have been having second thoughts. Medyo, especially I was being influenced by Senators Pimentel's Nene and Coco. Medyo nai-influensyahan ako for some time in the last 2 years. So I've been thinking about it, and I was hoping that I will be able to influence Coco on the other hand. Noong pinidebate po namin yan, ang napagkasunduan noon ay yung lethal injection. Gusto ko pong malaman sa ating magiting na senador kung ano naiisip niya na forma ng death penalty kapag ito ay naipasa ng Kongreso at pinirmahan ng Pangulo.
Sa paniniwala ko po, Mr. President, hindi pa siguro yan ang unahin natin pag-usapan, yung paano i-execute yung death penalty, as long importante dito ay maipasa itong batas ng death penalty. Depende na po yan sa magiging proseso ng pag-implement ng depende sa atin kung paano natin i-execute yung death penalty as long ang death penalty ay mapasa.
Maaaring tama po kayo, pero ang iniisip ko po kasi pag pinasa natin yan, kailangan nakalagay doon sa batas kung anong klaseng forma ang gagamitin natin. Pareho nung pinag-usapan namin noon. Merong mga nagsasabi na dapat daw ay death by hanging. Merong nagsasabi firing squad. At meron din nagsasabi na lethal injection. Naintindihan ko po yung gusto nila. Actually, yung hanging ang pinakamatipid sa lahat eh. Yung firing squad, medyo matipid din ng konti. Mahal nga yung lethal injection eh, tsaka yung electric chair. Pero nung araw, medyo nabagabag po kami nung aming pinagdidiskusyonan nito. Nung merong isa po sa amin nun na pinaalala sa amin yung Section 19, Paragraph 1 of the Constitution. So ito ang nakikita ko na maaaring maging balakid sa gusto ninyong ipasa kung hindi natin i-address kaagad ito at malaman natin. May I read for the record Section 19, paragraph number 1 of the Constitution. It says, excessive fines shall not be imposed, nor cruel, degrading, or inhuman punishment inflicted. Neither shall death penalty be imposed unless for compelling reasons involving heinous crimes the Congress hereafter provides for it. Etc. Okay. Yung pong, ang sinasabi ko po rito, yung cruel, degrading, or inhuman punishment ang medyo nakapigil po sa amin noon na ibalik yung electric chair. Gusto po sana ng karamihan sa aming senador noon ay electric chair. Pero napilitan po kaming bumaba to lethal injection nung aming binasang mabuti ang gustong sabihin ng mga gumawa ng konstitusyon noong 1986. So, kayo po, on a personal note na lang, kung sa tingin ninyo hindi
tama
dapat...
po yan, neither shall death penalty be imposed unless, when you read the word unless, I think there's an exemption, even those words are cruel or degrading. In fact, in the Bible, it's a sword, meaning to say cutting the head. No, I think, and God is allowing that to cut the head when you are when you are punished by death. So, ang problema lang po sa lethal injection is mayroon pong batas ang mga doktor na pinirmahan o sinumpaan na salaysay sa kanilang tungkulin na bawal po silang gumamit o mag-inject ng nakakamatay o nakakakitil ng buhay. At doon naman po sa hindi doktor, bawal naman po, may batas naman po tayo na bawal bawal mag-inject na kung ano-ano na ito ay kakamatay ng tao.
Pero kayo po, wala kayong personal na pananaw kung ano dapat ang gagamitin sa death penalty.
Para po sa akin,
Ano mas pabor kayo sa hanging, sa firing squad o sa electric chair o lethal injection?
Para po sa akin sa ngayon nananaig po yung hanging or firing squad.
Dahil mura o dahil makakasilbi ng magandang...
Sisipain lang po yung upuan.
Oo nga, kaya nga naisip ko na baka nga mure, no? Anyway, natutuwa din po ako.
Pwede po nating sabihin na natumba lang yung upuan
Oo nga. Natutuwa din ako at binanggit ninyo ang tungkol sa Bible. Sapagkat nung ini-sponsoran ko po ito nung 1990, nung 9th Congress, tatlong dahilan po ang ginamit ko kung bakit dapat ibalik ang death penalty. Una, it's the natural law. Pangalawa, there are compelling reasons. At pangatlo, vox populi, vox Dei, sapagkat gusto ng karamihan, majority ng Pilipino noong mga panahon na yun na dapat ibalik. Yung pong Bible, nung binanggit ninyo, natutuwa po ako kasi isa ho sa mga nahirapan ako ng gusto ng debate namin nung ako in-interpellate ng mga antigong senador na kasama ko noon, sila Turing Tolentino, Neftali Gonzales, Bert Romulo, Bobby Tanya, ang dami hong nag-interpellate sa akin tungkol dito.
Tama po.
Ang sinabi ko po, lahat ng binanggit ko na sinabi sa Bible, ang sabi po nila sa akin, nasa Old Testament yung sinasabi mo sabi sa akin. Hindi ko napag-aralan na sa New Testament, meron pala, at kayo ang nagbanggit nito. Ito yung Romans chapter 13, verse 4. Dapat pala, naging consultant kita nung araw, nung ni-sponsor ako ng Night Congress, kasi hindi ako nakapagsalita nung sinabi sa akin nila yun maaari po bang ulitin nyo sa amin yung sinasabi ng Romans chapter 13?
Romans chapter 13 po, sinasabi po rito, basahin ko lang po yung verse 1 to 5, sinasabi po rito, let everyone be subject to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except that which God has established. The authorities that exist have been established by God. Consequently, whoever rebels against the authority is rebelling against what God instituted. And those who do so will bring judgment on themselves. For rulers hold no terror for those who do right, but for those who do wrong. Do you want to be free from fear of the one in authority? Then do what is right, and you will be commended. For the one in authority is God's servant for your good. But if you do wrong, be afraid, for rulers do not bear the sword for no reason. They are God's servants, agents of wrath, to bring punishment on the wrongdoer. Therefore, it is necessary to submit to the authorities not only because of possible punishment but also as a matter of conscience.
Amen.
So sinasabi po
Thanks.
dito sa Bible is, for rulers do not bear the sword for no reason. Kasi nung unang panahon po, pag in-execute, sinintihan ka ng kamatayan, pinupugutan ka po ng ulo. Yun po, Mr. President,
Alright. Thank you,
kaya,
Mr. President.
That's why, Mr. President, na itong privilege speech ko na yung hapon na ito ay napaka-importante to linawin, napaka-importante na linawin sa lahat ng mga nag-o-oppose o ano bang basis na why you opposing this death penalty? Are you opposing for religious belief, or are you opposing for the Constitution, sa batas natin? Gusto nating malinawan na sa Constitution natin, allowed naman yan. Even in the Bible, allowed naman yan. In fact, sinasabi nga rito, do not bear the sword for no reason.
All right. Thank you, Mr. President. I wish to congratulate again and thank the distinguished gentleman for his privileged speech. And I will look forward to the debates on the death penalty law. Until now, I still have to make up my mind this time, Mr. President. Thank you.